the Brody.
Yo, it's your boy AJ. I'm here with Chubbs. We're about to break down a whole bunch of topics. Crazy end to the NBA year. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. You're now tuned in to Hoops World.
Hoops World.
James. Right here, the king is like, hey, guess what? I'm still the king.
I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang, no the homie. Don't blow me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nice, blicky on me. I was just stacking my commas up. Head down, trying to run it up. These niggas be steady, be clocking me like.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing we're going to react to is the fights that happened today. Crazy fight night today. You would think, right? The big fight happened yesterday, but we're going to start with the Wolves, man. So there was an altercation on the bench. Let me read exactly what Woj said, because Woj had the exact quotes. He said, Rudy Gobert escalated a verbal argument to a physical encounter after Kyle Anderson told him to shut the F up, B. And then the disagreement starting with Anderson telling Gobert to block some shots, Gobert telling him to grab a rebound, ended with a punch, and Gobert got sent home. And then I got the video right here.
That's just something you don't see every day. I know the tensions.
Crazy enough, the Wolves actually won this game, but what was your reaction to Gobert hitting him with the Hadouken?
That is a crazy way to end the regular season. I'm sorry.
Yo,
that means that means the team's mental fortitude is zero.
You want to talk about something else? Jaden McDaniels breaking his hands.
Yeah, that's
another key player they needed because he's a very insane defensive player. Gone because why? His own mind. Everyone's own mind is just getting too much. You see
why did he do that?
Kyle Anderson, and then obviously they got into a fight. But instead of Jaden McDaniels punching someone else, he punched a wall, and there ended up in his hand being broken.
But why? What was he like? Were they down or something? Because I was like, I saw the clip, and I'm like, I understand the frustration, but like, break your hand. It's a season-ending injury.
The game was back and forth, and the Clippers were getting the better of them in that first half.
Yeah.
But still, I didn't really see any moment where it caused them to just do that. That's stupid. Yeah, like the biggest thing in sports is to not hurt yourself. Like, don't do no banging against the wall. Don't do none of that. Like, I've seen my fair share of teammates bang their heads on the wall like a crazy person, but like,
yeah,
always
breaking your head is crazy. Yeah. So we'll go into the series. Crazy. So the Minnesota Timberwolves play the Lakers in the play-in, right? Play-in?
Yeah, that's the first round.
Play-in. They play in the play-in, 7th and 8th seed. Now you're gonna go into the series without. Well, we don't know what Rudy. Rudy's probably gonna play, but again, there's still kind of iffiness. And then you don't have McDaniels. I think he's a good part of the Wolves. How do you see this game turning out? This is like a March Madness kind of game. To me, if the Lakers are just on full cylinders and don't do anything to mess this up, I think this should be an easy win for them. But what do you guys think about that?
People are going to realize how important a guy like Jaden McDaniels is.
Yeah.
Because you got a guy like LeBron, you got AD, and then you got I like to call them the system guys, or the high value system role players, where when they perform in a good system, they're arguably just as valuable as the star players.
Yeah.
And in that, the Lakers arguably have 3. They have that in D'Lo, they have that in Vanderbilt, and they have that in Reeves. I don't know why. They definitely have that in Reeves because he's been on fire these past couple of weeks. So to lose a guy like McDaniels that arguably is one of the better defenders on the team, and on top of that is the one of the better bodies to throw out LeBron on the team, it's not going to end well, especially when they can really pinpoint a guy like Cat Moore.
Yeah.
Like Rudy and Cat are going to get exposed bad. And it's really on how they approach this, because it's only a one game
Yeah, the March Madness. I just don't like the energy going into it because it's like you got the Rudy and Kyle beefing, and then you got this guy breaking McDaniel's breaking his hand. It's like this doesn't feel. If I'm a Wolves fan, I don't feel good going into this game against a fully loaded Lakers.
If you're a Wolves fan, you just have to wait for it to be over.
Yeah, exactly.
Realistically, if I'm a Wolves fan, I would say, you know what, try it out in this and just go to the next round and try to see if you can win that one. That's kind of where
you gotta get Anthony Edwards, Cat, and of course Rudy Gobert to go off because Rudy Gobert is gonna play. It's a play-in game unless they're really, really, really unless they're okay with losing and then playing because they get another play-in game if they lose given their seeding.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is it's like you gotta play him because you're gonna want to win.
Yeah.
And you'd probably and depending on how you feel, you'd probably rather have a team.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to the next fight that happened today. Well, not really a fight, but a little something happened between Plumlee and Bones Highland, and this was against the Clippers Suns game, which I thought the Clippers were gonna tank this game, but they actually put Kawhi and Russ fully loaded with fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, and they were going for the win. They knew they were going to play the Suns first round, and they didn't want to go into that play-in. But let's take a look at Plumlee and Bones Highland.
Well, this is what occurred as we went to the break at the quarter. Mason Plumlee and Bones Highland. Plumlee clearly not happy with what had occurred. Defensive breakdown that he felt late.
Yeah, so that was that kind of seemed less spicy than because the Gobert and Anderson seemed like they were something personal.
Yeah,
it seemed a little more personal. This one seemed like a regular teammate kind of, little teammates.
It's something that happens often, and if you're a Clippers fan, it doesn't really matter. And it's not like a star players beefing. It's like it's two backup role players. It doesn't really matter because and plus it was big. It was barely anything.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was. You're gonna have fights, but it doesn't really mean anything. There's a lot of stuff that happens that it's just kind of in the moment, and they're fine after the game.
For me, seeing that hit that hit my soul because you can be from YMCA to playground to the highest level. Any person that's played big knows that disgusting feeling of your point guard selling you and then making it your fault. I guarantee you that was probably what was happening. Bones did some nut shit and then try to be like, yo, Mason was like, yo, what the fuck you doing? I was like, man, that's your fault. Like I said, from 2K to playground.
Oh, yeah, that always happens. Yeah.
I swear. They think they be trying to do some Magic Johnson and think your hands is just magnets and you can just catch the ball and be like, yo, it's your fault. Like, no, pass me the ball. That's more likely what happened. And as far as the impact, I don't see it really impacting.
Yeah, I think that's light. That's light. But going into the Suns, they're gonna play the Suns first round. So what's your X factor for this Clippers Suns matchup, and what are y'all predictions?
X factor is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
For Clippers,
they have such a deep team, bro. They have the deepest team in the NBA.
I'm gonna say Ty Lue's the X factor. I'll say Ty Lue's
okay.
Because Kawhi is gonna do what he does, and Paul George, yes, playoff P, but in history, he's good for 2 playoff games. He's gonna give you something for 2. So you do have to work around that. Outside of that, you got a deep enough team where you can plug and play kind of guys. I'm not saying put in end of the bench guys, but you have a deep enough team to where you can make up for a lot of the deficiencies. Like Zubac, that's a matchup you'll live with DeAndre Ayton. Mason Plumlee, all right, get in there. You're the backup. Russell Westbrook, you've been bad, but on here you've been above and beyond. You can be the play. There's too many pieces with Ty Lue where he can play with to where it's not impossible to not potentially win this series.
Yeah.
As far as the Suns, where you're extremely top heavy with that 4 out of 5 lineup, but when you get to that bench, that's where you're going to run into some problems where it's like Landry Shamet, Cameron Payne, and then extreme drop off. Yeah. Like that's you know what? I'll change my X factor for the Suns. It's the bench. It's the bench, honestly.
Yeah.
Because 6-man, you know it's gonna be Cameron Payne, but who else is coming off that bench that can impact? Genuinely impact.
The 6, 7, 8 guys are gonna be only 8 to 9 guys playing the playoffs anyway. So TJ is gonna have to be bubble TJ. You're gonna need Cam to be Cam Payne. Be effective coming off the bench, and then that third guy, Terrence Ross, probably, I guess, because the backup bigs.
You know who else could be an X factor for them, as you mentioned, Chris Paul and their backups, but DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, I think that's another guy.
That Zubac matchup, that's going to be a little more competitive than people realize.
See, that's interesting because Zubac, if you watch the Lakers game, Zubac isn't someone to play with.
Zubac is tough, man. People underestimate, man. He's tough, man.
I think he had like 2 20-point rebound games this season,
he's
or
tough.
He had a 20-point. Yeah, Zubac is like that. He is like that.
If I'm a Suns fan, I'm saying this is going to be a tough series. I'm not taking the Clippers for granted because they got the deepest team. They got, Paul George. If I'm the Clippers fan, I'm like, can we hold on? Can we steal a game before Paul George gets back? If we can steal a game and hold down the fort for Paul George to come back, then we have a chance.
Because Paul George is going to, depending on, I don't think it's bad enough to where he sits out the whole playoff
I expect him maybe like game 3-ish, game 4-ish.
I'm thinking game 3, game 4. And if you can win a game, that'll be huge. Yeah.
So we're going to the next series, OKC. This is the play-in, OKC and the Pelicans. This is going to be an interesting battle. No Zion, obviously. You got BI, you got CJ, and then you got the Young Thunder team. Who you guys got winning this play-in between OKC and the Pelicans?
Yeah, I got the Thunder. And you know what? I'll make a bold prediction. It will not be close.
Oh, wow.
I have a really bold prediction with that. I don't think it'll be close at all. Like, you look at the Thunder team, they're having a phenomenal season because everybody on that roster is finally hitting some form of stride. You're finally seeing actual progress.
Yeah.
And the rookies they got too, J-Dub, they could potentially run the Pelicans off the court. Like, obviously, you got Alvarado, you got BI, you got CJ.
That's gonna be a spicy game, bro. I think
it got to be something special from either BI or CJ for really to.
BI has to go off.
But you know what I got. I disagree, and I think the Pels take that. I think the Pels take it because CJ is a scoring option, BI is a scoring option, and when you go to the OKC Thunder, you got Shea, and then you got J-Dub, maybe kinda. That team that team has good enough defense to stop those guys.
Josh Giddey.
Can't forget Josh Giddey.
He's not going to be scoring, bro.
But
he's going to be more playmaking. He's going to need J-Dub.
He's going to be playmaking, and
arguably be the best playmaker.
That Pels defense is tough. You got Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram's a good defender. You have
Herb Jones definitely X factor.
You have Trey Murphy.
They got the wings.
Yeah.
You have Trey Murphy. You still Valanciunas is a good defensive big.
Yeah, the Pelicans on paper should get this win. OKC is just one of those sneaky teams.
I respect Stubbs' opinion though because Shea is like that, J-Dub is like that, and the OKC team is good as a whole. But the thing is, that defense is good enough to stop their guys because a lot of times when I watch OKC games, I'm like, they don't have enough scoring options, and even though Shea is going to get his buckets, you have guys to throw on him. You have Herb Jones. Herb Jones is arguably he is a defensive player of the year candidate. You have Brandon Ingram. I doubt they throw him on there given he's the best player, but that's also possible. So you have guys to throw up against them.
Yeah. If this was a series, this is my last thing on them. If this was a series, I would pick the Pelicans, but since it's one game, I might be on Chubb's side or ride with the Thunder, man. If this one game, you can tell me one game.
If it's series, Pelicans, I'm going Pelicans, but in one game,
I might ride with the Thunder, but I don't know. We'll see. So the last game in the West. Yeah, the last game in the West we're gonna do is the Kings Warriors matchup, 3 versus 6. What are you guys feeling? We thought the Warriors were going to do the Suns first round, but now they're going to get the Kings. Very exciting team. What do you guys think about that matchup?
It's gonna be so mean what I'm gonna say. But
we all know it should. We all the whole NBA world is like it's the Warriors gonna win this. Like it's gonna be light series.
Man, you know what? I usually go for the underdog to win, and it's crazy, but I hope the Kings can pull out with this one because everyone is like, this is the easy matchup. This is the easy matchup.
Like the beam.
People are gonna see what De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and Keegan Murray are about. I'm telling you, that man Keegan Murray is different. Keegan Murray holds the all-time 3-pointers made for a rookie. This year, he's shooting for over 40%, I believe. De'Aaron Fox is a bucket. He can drive to the paint and get his buckets. Sabonis, who's guarding Sabonis? Draymond Green. Draymond Green is fair, but Sabonis is gonna do him in the paint bad.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. You make a compelling argument, but you see that little 6'3" light skin and underarm?
yeah. I don't know who are you throwing up against Steph Curry?
And you got he got his backup in Clay, and then you got a returning Andrew Wiggins. That's a body you can throw on somebody. It might not. I don't think he'll be the level of impact might not be as big as last year. But that's still a defensive body. Like the Kings, I think they'll make it a competitive series. But you got the experience on the Warriors. And let's be honest, you have the ability of Steph Curry. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't see the Kings. I just can't see it. I can't see it.
I'm rooting for the Kings, but I think the Warriors are going to win this series.
No, I think Warriors in 5.
Oh,
yeah. I was trying to be generous. It's gonna get dark for the Kings.
Warriors in 5.
It's gonna get dark.
Warriors in 5 or 6. That's just how it's gonna go. We can. One last thing. That Warriors team is not good on the road. It might be different going into this year, given the fact that it's playoffs and you're obviously gonna play your best basketball come playoff time. But that Warriors team on the road has been horrible.
They've been getting exposed bad this year a lot.
But you know what? I feel like the Warriors fans will go out to. I feel like there'll be enough Warriors fans in Kings Arena the first 2 games.
All right, so we're done with the West. We're gonna go to the East side. How you guys feeling about Bulls, Toronto in that play-in? First play-in is Bulls, Toronto, 9th and 10th seed, man.
Ooh. Oh,
you know what?
That's a tough series. That's a tough one to call too. It's like those teams are. I want to go with the Bulls because of the score. I mean, you got DeMar and Zach, but Toronto still has that defense. You got Podol, you got Siakam, Fred VanVleet could go off. It's hard to predict these 1-game March Madness moments because anything,
especially
really
with them
happen.
being 8th and 9th seed, and it's like or 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th. Yeah. I don't even know how you can predict the Bulls and Raptors. Heat and Hawks, I'm taking. Ooh, that's tough too, man.
I'm taking Hawks in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's break down the Bulls because we can't just. X factors for this. What's X factors for this?
Bulls.
To me, like I said, if DeMar and Zach are on another level, I don't see the Raptors can keep up with that scoring. I mean, Siakam's good, but they're gonna have to coach a crazy scheme defense if Zach and DeMar are in their bag. And then you got Vucevic. I forgot about Vuce. I mean, you still have Vuce too. So it's like, I don't know if Toronto can keep up with that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to go left field with it. Patrick Williams is their X factor.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
You can consider him a two-way guy in a sense on offense. He can be a pretty good offensive guy on that side. But on defense, like you've seen when Levine and DeMar go crazy, and Patrick Williams is giving you the defense and everything else, that's a scary thing to see.
Yeah, it is.
Those 3, it's a scary thing to see. You can also mention Kobe White too. Like he can come in and might get in a 1-game series. He could definitely do something like.
So if I'm a Raptors fan, what has to go right for the Toronto Raptors to win this game?
You have to be able to figure out how to stop Levine, but you know what? The Raptors are a good defensive team. I got the Raptors winning, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think like this team, I feel like they have enough defensive power to keep up with the Bulls, unless DeRozan and Levine are hitting. But you never know with DeRozan, because there's been I've seen too many games where he has like 0 points in the first half.
Yeah.
It happens, and then and also in that aspect, Raptors got to hit threes. Raptors have to hit threes. I see them shoot a lot of them, so they got to hit their threes. But you know what? And for the Raptors, I think Fred VanVleet's the X factor. And
I agree.
And for the Bulls, it's DeRozan for me.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go to the other side. The Hawks Heat. Miami. I mean, Miami is just one of those teams. It's like there's sometimes they could be so awful, and then there's other times where they can just be looking like one of the best teams in the East.
Were the Heat the 1 seed last year? Or am I tripping? Was it the year before?
No, I don't think they were last year. They were up there though, but I don't know about last year. I forgot. But they were up there.
Did Jimmy Butler shoot the bad shot last year?
Yeah, he shot the bad
shot. They were the first seed. The Heat were the first seed.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Wow.
If that's what he pulled up and he just randomly shot the 3, then yeah, they were the 1 seed.
Yeah. So, what do you guys have for this series? You got Trae Young and JC, Clint Capella, DeJounte Murray.
That Heat defense, I just don't see it with the Hawks, especially Trae Young. I think they matched up last year too. Trae Young was in hell for a lot of times in that series too. So I'd say he could give a redemption, but then again, it's a 1-game scenario.
But now you add on DeJounte Murray.
That too, but at the same time, I feel like I don't think the Heat are going to be too overwhelmed with that. They've seen better matchups than Trae and Murray. Like they've seen way better duos and all that, and they've handled them pretty well in high leverage situations. So I think I got the Heat with this. X factor probably would be Victor Oladipo for me.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next game. Knicks Cavs, 4th and 5th seed, man. This is an interesting series because I talk bad smack to my Knicks my friends that are Knicks fans. I'm like, yo,
be nice, AJ. Be nice.
I'm like, yo, first of all, you guys have Donovan's gonna cook y'all. I mean, we don't know if Julius Randle's gonna come back in time for these first 2 games. So if he's not coming back in those first 2 games, they're gonna have problems. I mean, the Cavs are the number 1 defense. You got Mobley, Jared Allen protecting the paint. They're gonna have no answer for you can kind of match up. You got it's weird because with the Knicks, it's like without Randle, can Jalen Brunson give you that scoring punch? And who else is on their team? Ian Quigley.
I think he can. I think Jalen Brunson is going to get his regardless. It's about who else can quit.
Who else can help him while Julius is down?
Can IQ come up and give you something? It's more so that.
Yeah, because Donovan and Darius Garland are scoring guards, bro. They can both drop 40 in a drop of a hat, bro.
That backcourt is crazy.
Yeah, so it's like,
yeah,
I'm taking Cavs I'll say Cavs in 5. It depends when Julius comes back, but I'm doing Cavs in 5.
You know what? Yeah, I'll say Cavs in 6 off of this.
Okay.
Fibs with the coaching, that's just gonna be a pain in the ass in a series, and in a 1 game obviously, but in a series, especially an overtime type of thing, that's gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with. And you got high energetic guys like Barrett, Grimes, IQ. It could cause problems, but I do think Cavs get it in 6. I think it'll be a much more competitive series.
I'll agree with Chubbs there. I'll take Cavs in 6.
Cavs in 6.
I think Brunson will Brunson will have one of those games. I think Randall will come back eventually in that series. So yeah, I think Randall might be back sooner than we think, because I think it was 2 weeks last week. I don't know.
Because to be fair, they do have like the guys to match up a little bit, because you can put Julius on Mobley, then you can got what's that center's name on the Knicks? Mitch Robinson, Jared Allen. So it's like they do kind of have the mix of guys to go with the Cavs. Like it doesn't seem like it'll be a Yeah, go ahead.
That defense you're getting from Mobley and Allen, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Knicks are a good like scoring team. Like, I mean, of course you got Jalen and Julius when he comes back, but Quigley, RJ is inconsistent. RJ be terrible sometimes. He gets benched. And then Quigley's their second guy to score. I mean, Josh Hart is huge for them. Josh Hart's going to have to be a really good X factor for them.
Yeah. Josh Hart's definitely the X factor.
Yeah, he has to be huge for them. While
he
Julius is down.
He has to be the Bruce Brown. He has to be the Draymond Green. He has to be the guy in the system that keeps everything in order without having to truly touch the ball, which is extremely hard to fucking do.
Yeah, I can agree with that, and I also think a guy to look at is RJ Barrett. If RJ Barrett's there and he's playing well, because you never know, we've seen a lot of bad shooting performances out of him.
Sometimes he gets benched, like it's bad.
But like AJ, if he's making the shots though,
if he's making the shots, that gives the Knicks a huge lift. Like we can take it to 6 or 7, you know. But make sure you guys hit that like button. We're not going to talk about the Nets Sixers. If you want to learn about the Nets Sixers, go to the Nets Kingdom channel on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, HoopsWorld0, and we'll be back with more NBA content. We'll actually be going live for these playing games, so appreciate you guys.